the Sangha of Krishna family, where everybody is chanting, stay in the Sangha, then we will be able to chant. Also, it says that the Asat Sangha, give up this association of the non-devotees, associate with the devotees. Always stay at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, beg the mercies of the Gaura Nityananda, Gaura Advaita, and Gaura Gadadhar. This is the way we will be able to. What a wonderful song. Thank you very much. We should memorize this in our minds so that way it will remind us, because any circumstances we have, it's already included in this song. So it will give us the impetus to always chant no matter what the circumstances, sampade vipade bhai. If it's a favorable circumstances or unfavorable circumstances we are in, we should always chant. Glorious song. Thank you very much. So let's read from the Krishna book. We have, I think, let's see. Yeah, we have started reading Krishna, chapter 47. Krishna pleases his devotees. What a wonderful quality Krishna has. Huh? He's so kind. He deserves to be a supreme personality of Godhead. He is perfect in all respect. Who can replace Krishna? So I will read a little bit about the Kubja, what we read yesterday, and then we will continue. So without wasting time, as one does in such situation, Krishna entered the bedroom of Kubja, and in the meantime Kubja took her bath and smeared her body with sandalwood powder. She dressed herself with nice garments, valuable jewelry, ornaments, and flower garlands. It shows us when we want to present before Krishna how wonderfully we should decorate our body, not for our own pleasure, but to give the pleasure to the divine couple. Chewing betel nut, that's it. No for us. Another intoxicating eatables, and spraying herself with scents, she appeared before Krishna. Her smiling glance and moving eyes were full of feminine bashfulness as she stood gracefully before Lord Sri Krishna, who is known as Madhava, the husband of Goddess of Fortune. So when Krishna saw that Kubja was hesitating to come before him, he immediately caught hold of her hand, which was decorated with bangles. With great affection, he dragged her beside him and made her sit by his side. Krishna knows everyone's thoughts process goes into our hearts. Simply by having previously supplied pulp of sandalwood to the Supreme Lord Krishna, Kubja became free from all sinful reactions and eligible to enjoy with him. Little service Krishna never forgot. Haribol. She then took Krishna's lotus feet and placed them on her breast, which were burning with the blazing fire of lust. By smelling the fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet, it says, our Acharya, millions of lotus flowers. So cooling effect. Haribol. She immediately became relieved of all lusty desire. She was thus allowed to embrace Krishna with her two arms and thus mitigate her long-cherished desire to have Krishna as a visitor in her home. So we will continue. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that without being freed from all material sinful reactions, one cannot be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. This is what this, Danodar Swami Maharaj told me. You can't keep two legs in different boat, one material boat and one spiritual boat. It never works. Somehow or other, we have to beg the mercy to become free from this nuisance of material attachments. Otherwise, it's not possible. This is a wonderful sentence. I will repeat. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that without being freed from all material sinful reactions, one cannot be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Maybe we may render service, but it won't be pleasing to Krishna. Krishna wants to render the service with our pure heart. Simply by supplying sandalwood pearl to Krishna, Kubja was thus rewarded. She was not trained to worship Krishna in any other way. Therefore, she wanted to satisfy him by her profession. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord can be worshipped even by one's profession, if it is sincerely offered for the pleasure of the Lord. Yukta Vairagya. Kubja then told Krishna, "My dear friend, kindly remain with me at least for a few days. Enjoy with me. You and your lotus eye friend, I cannot leave you immediately. Please grant my request." As stated in the Vedic versions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has multi-potencies. And according to expert opinion, Kubja represents the Purusha Shakti, potency of Krishna, just as Srimati Radharani represents his Chitta Shakti potency. Comparison has been made. Although she requested Krishna to remain with her for some days, Krishna politely impressed upon her that it was not possible for him to stay. So nicely, right? Even if he cannot do it, he will say so sweet words. The other person will feel, okay, Krishna, you can go. Krishna visits this material world occasionally, not all the time, where his connection with the spiritual world is eternal. Krishna is always present either in the Vaikuntha planet or in Goloka Vrindavan planet, at least within the 12 forests of Vrindavan. The technical term for his presence in the spiritual world is Prakat Lila. So after satisfying Kubja with sweet words, Krishna returned to his place along with Uddhava. There is a warning in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is that warning? That Krishna is not very easily worshipped because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief among the Vishnu Tattvas. To worship Krishna or have association with him is not a very easy job. Haribo, Prabhupada is making clear. Specifically, there is a warning for devotees who are attracted to Krishna through conjugal love. It is not good for them to desire to have sense gratification by direct association with Krishna. Actually, the activities of sense gratification are material. In the spiritual world, there are symptoms like kissing and embracing, but there is no sense gratificatory process as it exists in the material world. So material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. So those things are there, but it's at different level. We can comprehend with our contaminated mind and body. This warning is specifically for those known as Sahajya, who take it for granted that Krishna is an ordinary human being. They desire to enjoy sex life with him in a perverted way. In a spiritual relationship, sense gratification is most insignificant. Anyone who desires a relationship of perverted sense gratification with Krishna must be considered to be less intelligent. His mentality required to be reformed. Our whole life needs to be reformed. After a while, Krishna fulfilled his promise to visit Akrura at his house. See, every request anybody make, Krishna fulfill it. He has his plan. Akrura was in his relationship with Krishna as his servitor, and Krishna wanted to get some service from him. Haribol. He went there accompanied by both local Lord Balram and Uddhava. When Krishna, Balram and Uddhava were approaching the house of Akrura, this is Brajvasis, right? They just explain everything, like narrating that we can make a movie. What is happening, how Krishna and Balram, they are now moving, helping us to create a movie in our mind. So when they approached, Krishna, Balram, Uddhava were approaching the house of Akrura, Akrura came forward, embraced first Uddhava, and offered respectful obeisances, bowing down before Lord Sri Krishna and Balram. This is the etiquette. Krishna, Balram and Uddhava offered him obeisances in turn. Haribol. You know, sometime, a lot of the time I have seen that when I offer obeisances that some sannyasi also offer, and we feel so bad. How it is possible? They are so humble. They shows us how to be behaved by the practical applications. And were offered appropriate sitting place by Akrura. When all were comfortably seated, Akrura washed their feet and sprinkled the water on his head, get the Charanamrut. Then he offered nice flowers and sandalwood in regular worship. All three of them became very satisfied by the behavior of Akrura. If you want to please someone, Akrura is teaching us the way. Akrura then bowed down before Krishna, putting his head on the ground and then keeping Krishna's lotus feet on his lap. Haribol. I used to do that when I massage Maharaj's feet. I used to sit and bring their feet into my lap and then massage. Akrura began to gently massage them. When Akrura was fully satisfied in the presence of Krishna and Balram, his eyes became filled with tears of love for Krishna. And he began to offer his wonderful prayers. We should have our own prayer. I don't know how many of you, if Krishna present right now, what would you say? We need some preparation. Don't think he cannot be present before us. Anytime he can come. We have to be prepared what we will do. At least mentally, we should put some thought. Here the Akrura is praying to Krishna, my dear Lord Krishna, it is very kind of you to have killed Kamsa and his associates. You have delivered the whole family of the Yadu dynasty from the greatest calamity. Your saving of a great Yadu dynasty will always be remembered by them. My dear Lord Krishna and Balram, you are the original personality from whom everything has emanated, is revealing the secret. This is the realization they are sharing in the prayer. They have realized, Akrura has realized that everything comes from Krishna. You are the original cause of all causes. You have inconceivable energy and you are all pervasive. But for yourself, there is no other cause and effect, gross or subtle. You are the Supreme Balram, Brahman, realized by the study of the Vedas. By your inconceivable energy, you are actually visible before us. You create this cosmic manifestation by your own potencies, and you enter into it yourself. And as the five material elements, earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are distributed in everything manifested by different kind of bodies, so you alone entered into different varieties of bodies, created by your own energy. You enter the body as the individual soul as well as independently as the super soul. The material body is created by your inferior energy. The living entities, individual souls, are part and parcel of you. And the super soul is your localized representation. This material body, the living entity, and the super soul constitute an individual living being. But originally, they are all different energy of the one Supreme Lord. Haribol. He is revealing his realization about Krishna. That's why we need to read the prayers of different elevated personalities. It will help us. In the material world, you are creating, maintaining, and dissolving the whole manifestation by interactions of three qualities, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. You are not implicated by the activities of those material qualities. Why? Because your supreme knowledge is never overcome, as is the case with the individual living entity. That's the difference. As the Supreme Lord entered into the material creation, and thus the creation, maintenance, and destructions are going on in their due course. So the part and parcel living entity enters the material element and has his material body created for him according to the activity he has performed. The difference between the living entity and the Lord is that the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and has the tendency to be overcome by the interactions of material qualities. So we have abilities to go beyond the three modes of material nature. Krishna is assuring. And Akrura is attesting that fact. Krishna, the Parabrahman or the Super Brahman, being always situated in full knowledge, is never overcome by such activities. Therefore, Krishna's name is Achyuta, meaning he who never falls down. Krishna's knowledge of spiritual identity is never overcome by material action, whereas the identity of the minute part and parcel living entity is prone to be overcome by material action. Haribol. Until we purified ourselves. The individual living entity are eternally part and parcel of God. As minute spark of the original fire, Krishna, they have the tendency to become extinguished. Haribol. Akrura is so kind, he is continuing. The less intelligent class of men, that's where who we are, misunderstand your transcendental form to be also made of material energy. That concept is not at all applicable to you. Actually, you are all spiritual and there is no difference between you and your body. You are absolute. And because of this, there is no question of your being conditioned or liberated. So if you want to become liberated, we need to purify our body, senses. Then and then we will not identify with our bodies. As long as we have not purified, we will keep on identified with our gross material body. Haribol. You are ever liberated in any condition of life, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Only the fools and rascal consider you to be an ordinary man. Haribol. All these Mayavadis. To consider your lordship to be one of us, conditioned by the material nature, is a mistake due to our imperfect knowledge. So we require some transcendental knowledge. We are in ignorance. So when people deviated from the original knowledge of the Vedas, they try to identify the ordinary living entities with your lordship. Your lordship has appeared on this earth in your original form in order to re-establish the real knowledge that the living entities are neither one with nor equal to the Supreme God. My dear Lord, you are always situated in uncontaminated goodness, Suddha Sattva. Your appearance is necessary to re-establish actual Vedic knowledge, as opposed to the atheistic philosophy, which tries to establish that God and living entities are one and the same. Haribol. My dear Lord Krishna, this time you have appeared in the home of Vasudeva as his son, along with your planetary expansion, Sibalram. Your mission is to kill all the atheistic royal families, along with their huge military strength. You have advented yourself to minimize the overburden of the world. So we sinful people have nothing but the overburden to this Mother Earth. And in order to fulfill this mission, you have glorified the dynasty of Yadu, appearing in the family as one of its members. Okay. My dear Lord, he continued, Akrura. Today my home has become purified by your presence. We need to have the vision. Krishna is there in our home. I have become the most fortunate person in the world, the Supreme Personality Godhead who is worshipable by all different kind of demigods, pitrus, living entities, kings and emperors, and who is the super soul of everything, has come to in my home. The water of his lotus feet is purifying the three worlds, and now he has kindly come to my place. Who is there in the three worlds among factually learned men who will not take shelter of your lotus feet and surrender unto you? Haribol. Who, knowing well that no one can be as affectionate as you are to your devotees. We feel, the relationship in this material world, but we have no tinge of knowledge how wonderful it is to have the relations with Krishna. So affectionate. You never want to leave his side. Throughout the Vedic literature, it is declared that you are dearmost friend of every living entity, but we are sitting somewhere else. Haribo. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Shuhadam Sarva Bhutanam. You are the Supreme Personality Godhead, completely capable of fulfilling the desire of your devotees. Haribo. You are the real friend of everyone. In spite of giving yourself to your devotees, you are never depleted of your original potency. Your potency neither decreases nor increases in volume. So this wonderful, wonderful assurance we have in our life, let's establish our long cherished desire to establish our relationship with the divine person who is so kind to his devotees. We have been wandering in this material existence for millions and millions of lives. Unless and until we make a drastic change in our lifestyle, there is no hope. We will continue rotting in this material world, painful. And if we keep on coming, it will become more and more painful if we have not realized. Krishna is so kind. So with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life also can become successful, enjoyable, complete in happiness, and there is no anxiety whatsoever. With those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who take austerities. It's not easy to get out of the bed in the morning. From Connecticut, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Cottondale, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Jacksonville, Ohio, St. Louis, Loganville, Georgia, San Diego, Alaska, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Laguna Beach, California, Vancouver, Toronto, Calcutta, New Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir sometime Bangladesh, Houston, and Fresno. Haribol. So I think the devotees who has to perform their daily routine activities, they are free to live. And the devotees who wants to hang around with us, they are most welcome to do so.